Our topic for today is stock splits, and you might have heard this term before, but of course we're going to get into a little bit of what it means for you as an investor. So a stock split is a corporate action where a company issues additional shares to its shareholders, thereby increasing the total number by a specified ratio, right? So you may hear a 5-to-1 stock split, a 10-to-1, 100-to-1. It really depends on what the company is trying to accomplish and their target in terms of potential price for the shares. So here are some reasons why they may want to split, or companies may look at stock splits. First is to boost liquidity. This is by far the number one reason you will hear. So it could be that the shares aren't trading as often or in the volumes that they'd want. And so you see this idea where by increasing the number of shares, increasing the amount that's available to trade, then you may have investors more encouraged to trade those shares, right? Of course, so if you have 100 shares and that suddenly became 1,000, you'd be more inclined to trade with some, and so there'll be more activity in the market. Next, companies may seek to look to increase their shareholder base. Some companies may have a large institutional shareholder base. It may be that their top 10 or the larger shareholders maybe don't trade the stock as much. And so to invite new shareholders or to invite those existing shareholders to sell their shares to make it available to more investors could be something that companies look at. And finally, one of the reasons why you may see a stock split is for a lower share price. So if you think about it, if a stock is trading for 1,000 Jamaican dollars and you suddenly have the opportunity to purchase it for $10 per share, you may be more inclined to purchase, or even $100 per share. It may seem, because of the lower nominal price, and an invitation for you, the investor, to purchase shares. So these are some of the reasons why companies may split. Of course, the number of reasons really depend on the company itself and what they're trying to accomplish. So let's look at an example that we recently covered on our channel. So Stationery and Office Supplies did a 9-to-1 stock split last year. So on August 2, 2023, the total number of shares would have increased from 250,120,000 to 2.2 billion, 251 million, right? So essentially, the number of shares increased by 9, and the share price was reduced again by a factor of 9. I'm going to break that down a little bit. All right, so let's say that you had 100 shares. Let's say before the split, you were a SOS shareholder and you had 100 shares. Let's say it was trading at $27 per share before the split. That value of those shares would be $2,700. If you look at the split or take the split into consideration, you would then have 900 shares. Your share price would go down to $3 per share, but it would still be 2,700 in value, right? So you notice now with 900 more shares, if you wanted to trade with 200 or 300 shares to take profits, to maybe exit some of that position, you now have the opportunity to do it without thinking, well, I only have 100 shares. I may not want to sell too much of that, right? But the main thing here to realize is that the split increases the number of shares, lowers the price, and of course, companies can also do what is called a reverse split, where they essentially reduce the number of shares by a particular factor, and so that is something that is possible as well. All right, so what you're seeing here is a chart on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. So at the point that the split occurred, it may look like, well, you'd see the price go from, we're seeing here $26.75, and then you see CA, that is a symbol for corporate action, meaning something took place there, and then you start seeing it traded for, I believe, about $2.90 or thereabout at that point. And from that point forward, it's trading at this new price, and the number of shares would have expanded, right? So whenever you see this on a stock chart, it's likely a stock split that would have taken place, because of course with our circuit breaker, the price is not allowed to go more than a certain amount per day. So when it has this large fall, you should look out for some type of split or action that has led to this reduction in price.